Hi, welcome to Tyldesley TV. We've got a little special for you tonight, whereby we're welcoming in a guest. However, I'm joined by Triple H, Howard Hughes. Evening, Howard.
Good evening.
And where are you tonight, pal?
I'm in Auckland, mate. I was in Sydney this morning, but did a quick swim across the Tasman, and I'm in Auckland now.
Okay, thank you. And Nobby, you're here with us, Mark Dickinson. Where are you tonight, mate? You look very familiar, that place.
Yeah, I'm live from the Sky Sports studio in London here.
Excellent, excellent. A bit of a giveaway there. Something happened, and we got a view of our guest. Guest tonight is a lad who joined Tyldesley in 2004. He left his homeland, strangely, Southern Hemisphere, to come to Tyldesley. Scarred for life now. Welcome, Rhys Morgan. How are you, Rhys?
I'm good, lads. How you getting on?
Kia ora, Rhys. You doing, mate?
Kia ora, kia ora. How are we all?
Pretty good.
I'm okay as well. I wonder why Mark's not talking. It's unusual.
What's
that?
Yeah.
I can't hear.
Oh, yeah, it looks like we've got technical difficulty with Dicky. Hopefully they'll improve.
Yeah, okay. Rhys, 16 years ago, you came from New Zealand. You played pretty high standard, and you came to all places Tyldesley. What possessed you, son?
I was 21, and I was just looking for a new challenge, really, and I guess I wasn't sort of chasing a club at a higher level. It was sort of more going overseas to gain some sort of life experience, you know. And I had like an agent, low-key agent at home, who was in touch with, must have been Aaron Adams at the time, I think. He was the director of rugby.
Yeah.
And he just put it to me that a club in Manchester were interested, and sort of went from there, really.
Did you,
yeah.
Rhys, did you do any background checks, like the best takeaways or stuff like that before you came over?
I see where you're going with this. We made a couple famous while we were there. No, but to be fair, I did do, this is sort of like early internet days and that, you know, so I did do a little bit of a background check on the club. Like I do that wherever I've been. I've always done a bit of a background check, because it pays to sort of know where you're heading, you know. Doesn't give you a very accurate idea of sort of where you're heading, but it does give you a rough gauge of where you're going. You know, I knew Manchester was a nice city, well, so I was told.
Did you realise, Rhys, before you came over, what a great player Dicky is?
No, to be fair, when I turned up and you rock up the train and you see some of the stash boys that rocking around, you think, oh my god. But we had some really good players in my 2 years there. Yeah, we probably weren't a team full of like rock stars like you've had like since then, but we sort of just a team full of grafters, you know, and I think that probably reflected in our results.
That's quite a successful time of it, particularly that win against what's that team down the road? Lee?
Yeah, that was something else. Like, that was my first real experience of like, so obviously in New Zealand you don't have a promotion relegation type thing. Like I played finals and that, but I lost a few before I came over. That was the first time I actually won something that meant something to someone, you know. And like seeing the old boys run on the field afterwards and just like jubilation out of everyone that was there. It was my first real taste of it, you know. And that was something I'll always remember. Fondly with my time in Tyldesley. That was next level. That.
Dicky, did you? Can you hear us?
No, mate. No, it's awful, is it?
No, pretty poor. But from there, Rhys, you moved on. You left us. You went to Ireland for a little bit, and then you ended up in a strange place, really, Portugal.
Yeah, it sort of turned out a guy I knew. So I played one season in Portugal down in like Offaly, which is in the middle of Ireland, which is like a country sort of club. And then we made a All-Ireland Cup final, which is quite a big thing over there. And there was loads of people there recruiting for like senior clubs and that. And I was warned that there'd be people watching. And pretty much straight after the game, this guy came up to me and just chewed my ear off, stopped emails and that, and got in touch with me. And I moved to a club up to Dublin, but I just, Dublin wasn't for me. Well, in and around Dublin wasn't for me. And then a guy got in touch with me in Portugal and offered me a gig to go over there for like just 4 months initially, for a club called Technico. So I went over there and done the 4 months, and we finished 5th or 6th in the comp. But that was my like first real experience of like professional rugby. And I mean, I say professional in like the loosest terms. We only train like 3 days a week, 3 nights a week. But as far as like full-time rugby, obviously because of language barrier, I couldn't work. So it was my first real experience of like being able to train every day, coaching kids, these types of things. So it was really good. And then I ended up going back there in 2010 to play for a club called Benfica, which I'm sure you've heard of, which is quite a big football club. But they've got loads of different. Hey,
I'm back. Can you hear me?
Yeah, bro, perfect.
Oh, excellent.
Rhys, when you're in Portugal, I'm wondering whether there was any players as good as Dicky over there. I presume
I was just going to ask that question. Have you asked Rhys if he's played with anybody better than me?
No, that was only in the UK, mate. We're going abroad now, son.
Nah, the kid can play. I've got to give him that. He can play. Just needs be a bit humble with it, eh? But that's Dicky. He's never going to be that.
So Rhys, you end up in Scotland. Played for a few clubs up there, I think, about 3 or 4 clubs. Is that right?
I played. So Stuart's Melville, which is the club that brought me over. I played 3 seasons there, and then I went down and played for a club down in the Borders called Kelso.
Yep.
And we ended up. So I played against Kelso for 3 years, and they got relegated after my studio at Stumel. And then they obviously decided that for them, they wanted to bounce straight back up from National 2 to National 1. And they decided that, well, they needed a tight end prop. So they got at me, and I was a bit hesitant at the start because it's like an hour and a half from Edinburgh, and I wasn't moving down there, so I was just commuting, which is quite a big commitment 3 times a week. It was an hour and a half down there and about an hour 20 back just because of traffic. So that was a big commitment. And then I had like half a year off because had some niggling injuries and I was waiting on surgery and that. And I went back and played for Stuart's Melville. So that must have been what, 17, 18. And we were like deep in relegation zone and things just weren't happening.
You pulled them out. Is that what you
No. And they sacked the coach, as you do. And I was injured, so they got me. I helped another guy sort of coach the first team. Was that 2 years ago? But we ended up getting relegated, which is unfortunate. But and then the following season, I was supposed to be forwards coach. And then at the last minute, I sort of reneged just because I was a wee bit, like, I'm good mates with a lot of the boys, and I've never been one of those ones that wants to be a coach. You know, you see a lot of players who like have ambition to be coaches. I was never one of them. So I pulled the pin, and that was my first year where ever since I was like 4 or 5, where I've never actually been involved in rugby. And for me, that was like a massive shock to the system. And I was only out of there like for a season. So the club got in touch with me again, see if I wanted to go back. So this season, I was first team manager, scrum coach, kit man, just general dogs body around the place. And I absolutely loved it.
In Scotland, is the first team manager the same as what it is at Bonds? Whereas basically you're just a kit man and a water boy like these two have been.
Yeah, just a general dog's body, bro. Like, I get to training, fill up the bottles, get all the kit out, you know, make sure everyone's on the bus on time. Well, that's just a general, just the director of rugby's bitch boy, really.
Yeah, that's what we're good at, me and Alan.
But I really enjoyed it because you still get to be involved without having to put your body through the ringer every week. And it's a role I've really enjoyed, eh? And we were top of the league with 5 games to go, looking really good. Just unfortunate that that's the way it's panned out. Our season's been null and void, so we have another crack at National 2 again next season.
You got yourself a good lady up there, haven't you now, Rhys? You're engaged.
Yeah, I'm engaged. Getting married next May up in Inverness. That's where she's from.
Is that because it's cold and wet up there, and it reminds you of home?
Yeah, and it's cheap. It's cheap, right? Nah, so
like JoJo's, just like JoJo's.
yeah. Nah, so I've been in Edinburgh for 7 years now. So, but it's a good spot. It's a really good spot. Just unfortunately, I didn't get to see Dicky last month. He was planning on coming up, so there's a bit of a bummer.
We'll make it up sometime, mate. We'll make it up there sometime.
What about Russia, Rhys?
Cold.
Well, over there, they play the top 10. They call it the Russian Championship. It's played in the summer just because obviously the winters are so extreme and like 10-foot snow, so you can't play. So it's all played in the summer, and Russia's like really extreme. It's either really, really hot, really, really cold. So like most of our games, you're playing in 30, 35 degree heat, which is absolutely brutal. But yeah, I was playing for a team called Krasnoyar. They actually play in the Challenge Cup now. That's correct. From a town down in, what's a city of 1 million people down in Siberia called Krasnoyarsk. And there's another team in the city, Yenisei SDM, and they're in the Challenge Cup as well. And they're like really good. Well, they're both good teams, but yeah, but I was there 2011 and we weren't in they were like none of those sort of Eastern European teams were in the Challenge Cup at that time. But they were talking about it and pushing for it. But yeah, it's one of those places it's hard to explain unless you've been there. Like there's going overseas and playing rugby in a foreign country, and then there's like going to play rugby in Russia, which is like next level. And that was sort of a game.
Going back 15 years, Rhys. What you've done and what you've seen, it wasn't planned it wasn't pan out as you thought. I guess. I think a couple of years in the UK and then back home.
Yeah. Well, just fortunately, I've got the British passport, which is taking me. Like, if I didn't have that, I wouldn't have been able to go half these places, So I'm just thankful for that. But in all honesty, I reckon if my situation was a bit different at the time, I'd probably still be sitting in Tyldesley.
Is that what's wrong with it?
No, like it's one of the only clubs. I've been to loads of clubs, and like it's hard to explain, but it's a really like community-based club. Like a lot of these city teams who are involved in here don't have communities that can call on, and I think that's like huge when it comes to building like a vibe in and around the clubhouse. I remember those days fondly of. Remember when there'd be like an event in the big clubhouse and we'd all go and get ushered into the little side bit. Oh, some of the nights in there were unreal, man. Everyone crammed in. And
Pommy knocking some songs out.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, no, so, I mean, there's worse places in the world than Tyldesley, isn't there?
Have you been in contact with any of the other guys, Jack or Bothers or...
Well, Nash, he comes and goes off Facebook, so he'll send you a flurry of messages, and then you go to reply, and about a month later, and then he's disappeared again. I think he's a teacher now, so I think he's...
he goes on and off, yeah, he does. He does.
But I see Bothers. I didn't see him this time I went home, actually, but I've seen him a good few times over the years when I've been sort of passing through Hamilton or going home. So,
and are any of them two still playing?
Nah, I don't. Nah, I hardly doubt it. We're all mid to late 30s now, bro.
How old are you, Dicky?
36, 37 this time. 37 this time.
Still doing it.
Trying.
It's good to see, bro. There's a few of the old guards still hanging in there. See, Pulley's still going. He must be about 63 now, is he?
Pulley still goes, yeah. I think that's about it, really, from
Paul.
Your day, Paul Martin, yeah.
Do you guys keep a tally of like your caps and that, first team caps?
No, I don't think so. No.
That's Howard's responsibility.
If there was anybody sad enough to do that job, it would be one of these two. So, people to ask.
No, we just funny you say, because we just brought it up here because like as amateur rugby players, you don't really get a lot, But so we've brought in like a 25 game and a 50 game tie. So when you play your 25th first team game, you get presented your tie, just like a show of appreciation for the time that you do give up. And I reckon some of you boys would be like on massive numbers, up like 250 type thing. I reckon
you would not be, wouldn't you?
Probably, and Craig would probably be above that. Yeah, Craig would be top, I think, because he's played probably 3 or 4 years at first team before me. So yeah, salute Craig.
Good stuff. Howard, you've been quiet, pal. What's going on?
No, just listening to Rhys. Nice to hear his story of his journey in rugby. Good to hear. I think obviously we're a bit pushed for time at the moment, so I don't. Ian, do you want to do your little?
Yeah. So we're going to finish, Rhys, with the Tyldesley version of Snog, Marry, Avoid. I know I spoke to you about this before to explain what it's all about. We'll each give you a name, and you need to do the Tyldesley version response, which is pie. Somebody you like to
is this rapid fire, is it?
Oh, yes. Pie, somebody you go to something to eat with. Pint, somebody you'd like to have a drink with. Or piss off, somebody like me. So, I'll start. Anybody from Lee Rugby Union?
Piss off.
Right, I'll go with Dave Channel.
Pint, but I'm not having one with him.
I'll go Sue Broad.
Pie and a pint.
I'll give you Lee Cunliffe.
Oh, definitely taking that man for a pint.
There's a lot of drinking going on here. Howard?
Yeah.
Well, I've got, it's the obvious one. James O'Connor.
Oh, that'll be probably start with a pie and fill it with a pint and then a big juicy hug.
I'll finish with Eddie Warbank. No, you can't take him for a pint because he only has 2 and gets aggressive. So
I'll take Eddie for a pie then, eh? Down Dawson's.
Brilliant. Listen, Rhys, it's been a pleasure, mate. Good to see you again. I know you worked at our place for 12 months or so, didn't you, as well?
Yeah, in systems, yeah, for sure.
You'd have made it as a commissioned engineer and better than a tight head prop. Listen, it's been a pleasure, fella. Take care. Don't be a stranger if you're down here.
No worries, boy. Yeah, no, I'll definitely get down when this is all over. I say it all the time, but I'll definitely get down and get some pints with the boys.
We'll look out for the invite for the wedding in the post, all right?
Yeah, you'll be looking a while, but it's good. You keep looking.
I'll keep in touch, mate, yeah?
Hey?
I'll keep in touch, yeah?
Will do. Right, boys, you take care, eh?
Yeah. Cheers, Rhys. See you later, mate.
Catch you later. Cheers.
Right.